I've been put on the spot many a times before, but this is very sudden. Sorry. I just came to check if everything was ready in the kitchen. But it's good. Hope everyone's having a decent time so far. And now for some unusual food. When you come to Café Spice, you get thrown a few unusual things on the side. And I hope you'll enjoy the meal tonight. It's always difficult to plan menus that need a little bit of thinking. Very easy to churn menus out, but that's not what we do at Café Spice. When we have an event, we try and do something different. So, to start with, something about the starter, more or less like we had if you've been watching the recent television series about me and my well-spoken Scottish friend, about spicing of Britain. And just before that, for 3 or 4 years before that, we've been trying to do different things here for many occasions. And I floated the idea to the BBC some time ago that we should do something about exploiting the best of Britain, but showcasing it differently slightly. And the whole idea is that we have suppliers dotted throughout the country. We have a map outside where I have tiny suppliers who only may have 5 pigs or 4 cows or 1 small flock of sheep, something like that. But they all are my suppliers. And it's great that they have such a unique pattern of supply, but every so often we forget about them. And Britain forgets about them. And ever since I got involved with the Prince of Wales on his mission to popularize mutton, and I sit on the steering committee, and we try our best to find people in the most remote regions of Britain and try and get their produce down south. This idea has forever occurred. And needless to say, I mean, we do shout that Britain probably has the best produce in the world, and I do mean that. Having traveled quite a lot and cooking food in different places in the world, you get to realize how great we are, but we forget how good actually Britain really is. And it just gave us a small opportunity to present the program. And one of the things we did was to do 2 different kinds of menus here. We call it the Twisted Brit, and we call the other one the Twisted Scot. And the idea was to take Scottish food and twist it to Indian, British food and twist it to Indian. And so the idea for the series emerged, and they found my friend drinking in a bar, and they found him very compatible rather, and they put us both together, and the series came about. Haggis and chorizo croquettes. Now, haggis has long been something that intrigues you. When you are studying in college in India, haggis conjures up vivid images because your dough is filled in a cow's stomach, so you imagine something that big, and it's ugly, it's horrible, it's all sorts of rubbish inside. It's actually pretty nice. It's actually pretty good. And when it is well made, it's really, really nice. But the Indian can't just take that, something little sticky, stodgy, make it something more. So a little bit of green chili might go in, some coriander goes in, a little bit of cumin goes in, and then an idea evolves. And so, chorizo, lots of flavor. These chorizos are made from a very rare British pig, the Oxford Sandy Black. I don't know if everybody knows the Oxford Sandy Black. There are 260 sows in the whole country, only 260 sows, and they are near extinction, but very small pockets of farmers are breeding them, and it's our duty to actually ask them to give us more so that they breed more. It's like all the rare breeds we use here, but they're really, really rare. The Gloucester Old Spot is no longer rare. There's plenty of them around. But the English lock, which is our main pork that we use here, is extremely rare. Only 140 sows in the whole country. The middle white has now just averaged 400 sows in the country. The Oxford Stanley is still not a well-known breed, but it's a very cute looking animal. If you've seen it, when the piglings are born, they look like tiger cubs. Literally. They look very cute. They are striped, they've got all sorts of, and they're bright, golden, shining little creatures. Till they grow bigger and get a little bit more ugly, of course, but it produces beautiful meat. And this lady in Devon, she makes chorizos. Really, really good chorizos. She air dries them till they get the right kind of fungus on top. And of course, we source them from her. And so the chorizo is very finely chopped, blended with the haggis, rolled in semolina, and just fried. Of course, it's got a bit of spice in it, but it's not very spicy. On the base of that is the typical word feijão in Portuguese simply means beans. Refogado as a term is with olive oil, garlic, and onion. That's the term for refogado. And it's very, very simple. So we've got butter beans, with sauteed onion, bit of garlic, fresh coriander, green chili, and that's it, nothing else. And of course, starch from rice. So you thin it down, we boil rice and we add the water to it. So we cook it in the rice water so it gets a little bit more sticky. That's about the thing. It's a very typical thing that the Portuguese would have lots of beans, of course. And the tradition that the Portuguese took, sorry doctor, I shouldn't be talking about food, but I'm just saying the Portuguese took their culture to different parts of the world. And they left that in Goa. But if you have feijão in Brazil, it's with black kidney beans. If you have feijão in Portugal, it's red kidney beans or butter beans. If you have feijão in Goa, it's again red kidney beans or black-eyed beans, one of the two. Okay? But the flavors differ. In Goa, it will have a punch that will make you snort through your nostrils, come right down to the earbuds. But it's great. Always goes with a little bit of tipple. So that's your first course. Second course, very simple, just chow grilled drums of chicken, but they're on a bed of Indianized coleslaw. The word here is spelled coleslaw because a lot of us Indians can't say coleslaw. And when I joined the Taj group many, many years ago in the kitchen, it was an all-Goan crew. And they just cannot say coleslaw. It's always coleslaw. And breadcrumbs is cream. Okay, so it was those are the words we got used to learning. So it's a little bit of a joke, but it's nice. It sounds good on a piece of paper. But it's radish, beetroot, carrot, celeriac, cabbage in yogurt, not in mayonnaise. So it's a strained yogurt, and it's been sizzled with mustard seeds, curry leaves, white lentil, and dash of coriander. That's about it. Bit of asafoetida, sorry. Everyone knows what asafoetida is? You should all know what asafoetida is. Smells like pong, but it's supposed to be an anti-flatulent. And so that's what the salad's mixed in. The kebab goes on, or the drumstick goes on a bed of the salad. With that, it's just some cold sliced tandoori duck. So, Mrs. Matthew, and just to highlight the fact that the Christian community of Kerala in South India came in the 1st century with St. Thomas. And they've settled since. The Jews in Kerala, and they were mostly the Baghdadi Jews, and they came something like 200 BC to India to trade. And they've been living in India ever since. So there's a very strong influence. So the Baghdadi Jews and the Syrian Christians from Syria, they brought duck with them. And duck is not generally eaten throughout the Indian subcontinent as a part of the diet, but in Kerala it is. They are bred, they are farmed. They have a hatchery now in Bangalore that supplies the ducks. And the duck has been breeding there for many years. Don't know how they are bred, it's horrible, but that's what they do. And Mrs. Matthew is the lady very much known for instigating the Christians to revitalize their cooking and bring it to the fore. And she did quite a lot of work on finding out little family secrets and bringing them together. And I had the privilege of getting this marinade from her nephew. And we use it ever since. It works. The tamarind extract takes ages to get out. The duck has a bit of a tang, but it cooks beautifully. It cooks almost like butter when you cook it slow. And so that's just sliced. Some of the slices may over mature, but by and large it should be nice and soft and creamy. But it's cold. That's your second course. Sheila's Kerala and lamb stew. This lady is Sheila Pacheco, and her husband run a very big cardamom estate. They have the most amazing cardamom on their estate. We've had the privilege of visiting them a couple of times and eating in their home, and Sheila always makes the stew. And the stew is quite strong. It's quite strong, but in the sense that it's not strong in heat or in chili because it doesn't have much at all, but it's strong in the flavor of the lamb because of the way it's cooked. And plus, the lamb of course is from Cambria, from Mr. Presley's little connections here and there. Okay. But I have my own connection. I haven't used his links yet, but I have my own connection. And the lamb is absolutely superb. So when you eat the Cambrian lamb, it's not have a DOC, isn't it? Yes?
No, it's a perfect time.
Yes, it has. It has a DOC now. So Cambrian lamb is very exclusive. It's properly protected now, but the lamb is absolutely amazing. And you'll get the flavor of the lamb right through the stew. It has to come through. It doesn't come through, I won't come back and say hello to you. It's quite rich, so I'm giving you a tiny little portion, but if you want a helping, let us know. We'll get some out of somewhere else and give it. That's it. And it's just topped with some crispy fried potatoes. Very simple. Nothing much, but that's served with a tomato rice. And for those of you who may not know, there's a festival in South India, there's a rice harvest known as Onam. And Onam is the festival of rice, festival of harvest, and wives at home would generally prepare about 11 different kinds of rice a day. Okay, just to celebrate the harvest. And so different kinds of rice are cooked every single day. And tomato rice is one of the popular rice that they have in South India. They would have in the middle of the day with some yogurt. You're getting the yogurt in the starter, but they would have something similar like that with the rice. So it's a very light rice, not heavily flavored, but you should enjoy that with the stew. The dessert is very simple: orange, cardamom and ginger, bread and butter pudding. It says everything there. We did that on the program. People have loved watching the bread and butter pudding, but we had to ease the recipe up because I had put orange inside and ginger inside and cardamom inside, and the BBC said no way, take the ingredients out, so we took the ingredients out. But in the restaurant we always use all the ingredients. So enjoy your dinner. If you need any clarification, ladies and gentlemen, I'm around. I shall hop around, but I'll be in the kitchen otherwise.